Okay, dear friends, I'm back. Today, I'd like to go on our series of the Hackthebox. The machine would be Photobomb. I've already spawned the machine earlier, and this is the IP address of the target. And during the video recording, I'd like to use the Photobomb, which is online Pilot OS, to do this penetration. Before we begin today's video, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like below. This will help me very much. You are greatly appreciated. So without further ado, let's just get started. So then we can switch over to the viewer or GUI of Pilot OS. As you can see, I have already done the map scanning earlier with options like scene scan, the version scan, the default script scan, and also the comprehensive scan. So from the map scanning results, as you can see, the two open ports on the target. The first one is 22, which is running SSH surface and also actual version information. As we know, this version doesn't have any vulnerability. And the second one is 80, which is running HTTP surface and also the corresponding version information, which is injects. And also the map scanning results has already told us we need to configure the host file and put this host name and its IP address to the host file. Otherwise, we cannot render the site properly. Of course, we can try now. We can put the IP address of the target. As you can see, we are having trouble finding that site. We cannot make a connection to the server at this one. So I think we need to append this host name to the host file. And we can echo the IP address of the target and the host name Photobomb Hackthebox, and we can use T command and the A option, which means append, and etc host file. Yeah, no problem. Now if we go back to our browser, refresh this site, yeah, we are having trouble. A bit weird. I need to check the IP address. Yeah, IP address is correct. Oh, sorry. I mistyped the host name. Sorry about that. This time I used the Vim editor to modify this file. Bomb. Right and quit. Now then we can refresh the site again. This time, yeah, the page is rendered without any problem. I think when we get to emulate the web applications, the first thing we need to check is whether the site has robots file, right? You know, as a professional pen tester, we need to follow the standard procedure or methodology. Robots file. But I think we got a very strange response. So in other words, this robots file is not there. And next we need to do some the manual walkthrough check for example, like links, some functions, what kind of functions provided by the site. Here, you can notice that there is a link, printer. We can click on that to open link in new tab. But we are required to be authenticated. And this authentication is basic authentication. At this point, we do not have such information. And then we can go back to our home page. Next, we need to check the source code of the page. For example, to look for the comments or something else. But here, if you look at the script part, the JavaScript, from the file name, we can know that, this file name is not like a default JavaScript, also like a bootstrap used JavaScript. So it must be custom JavaScript, which means this script will do some specific function. So we can open up this JavaScript in new tab. Here, and this function, blah blah, and a document, and we'll access this website. We have already know that, this is the directory. So if we go back to this JavaScript, we can know that this must be username and password. We can paste the username and the password. Sign in. Now we are authenticated. So I think this is the Photobomb. And as we scroll down, this site allows us to download the photo to print. And we can click. Already downloaded. But to understand what's going on the background, we need to analyze the request and the response. So the one good way is use the Burp Suite. Let's launch the Burp Suite Community Edition. Let's wait for the Burp Suite to be loaded up. It's loading or not? It's loading. And close. Next, because I don't want to update now. After all, this is online box. And the proxy, so we can set the intercept option to be on. Now we can click this link again to download the photo. And we got the request. As you can see, this is the request body or post, because the method is post. There's 3 parameters in total. And this one is a photo name, I think. And this one is a file type. And this one is dimension. If we go back to our home page, here, sorry about that. It looks like the server is running some like commands or like script, because we can select different file type and also different dimensions. So maybe on the background, if we select one specific picture, and then we'll do the conversion. For example, convert the JPG file to PNG file, or vice versa. and also this one dimension. We can convert this dimension to another one. So from this point, we can make a reasonable guess that maybe some of the parameters has the command injection vulnerability. We can check on that, and the way to check, the easier way to check or test is to send the request to the repeater module. And here, of course, I think the file name doesn't contain command injection vulnerability, because here we cannot select the file name, but the file type and also the dimensions. We can check the first one to see whether we can run the ID command, and then we can send invalid dimensions. So in other words, maybe the dimensions doesn't contain such a vulnerability, but we can test the file type field ID, send. It looks like it's working, but failed to generate a copy. So I think we need to do more tests. For example, not run the ID, we run the sleep, but we need to encode our payload by the subchaff. For example, we can run sleep 10 seconds. We can set the proxy to turn off, and then we can refresh, and we can make a copy, go back to our Burp suite and paste in here. I think if the file type has the command injection vulnerability, although we cannot get the result, the command execution result, or we can call it the blind command injection. But if we put the command of sleep and the time is 10 seconds, if we can get the result or response after 10 seconds, then we can confirm, this file type has the command injection vulnerability. I hope I have already explained it clearly. So we can send the request. You can count to 10 if you want to. About 10 seconds, right? So we confirm again the vulnerability, its vulnerability with this option, this parameter file type. Next, what we are going to do next is to get reverse shell. And you can get the commands or available commands from the Pentest monkey. I have already made a copy from the Pentest monkey and made some modifications, for example, like IP address of the attacking machine. But to save time, I just use it. I can make a copy. But before we can use this payload, we need to encode. We need to use the URL encode operation to encode this payload. We got the output and make a copy. Now go back to our Burp suite. Next, we can replace this one. But before we proceed this request, we need to set up the listener on our own machine. Sudo 555. Let's hit enter. Now we can go back to our Burp suite and send the request. Hopefully we can get the reverse shell. Yes, we have already got Next, we can make it or spawn bin bash shell import pty module spawn. Okay, now for us we need to do some local immersion, because the next objective for us is to elevate our privilege to root user. We can navigate to home directory, and there is just only one normal user, wizard, and we can get the user flag. Okay, which is wonderful. Next, we can check the sudo, a very common technique, and we can run this shell script, and without supplying the password of root user, and this will allow us to get the root privilege. But one very important difference with other machine, this one we need to set the env. We must keep this into our mind as we move forward. But before we do that, we need to check what this shell script is about. We can cat the content and clean up shell script, and also we can check the permission for this file. Clean up. Yeah, our current user wizard doesn't have permission to modify the content of this shell script. So we must turn our attention to the script itself. As you can see, yeah, the bash, I think this must be, yes, navigate into this directory and clean up log files, truncate, and also protect the priceless originals find. So I think the last line of this command, the last line of this shell script, the find caught my attention, because this is not in absolute path. In other words, we can manipulate this command or find. So how to do it? We can navigate to the temp directory. We can create our own find command. Echo bin bash to the find. And we can add all or full permission to this our own find command. So now, we can elevate our privilege, but we need to set the env or the. So it means that we need to use the current environment variables. So how to do it? We can sudo and the path temp directory, the current directory, and the original path. So this one means we set the env, and then we can run this shell script, because at the end of this script we'll run the find command, but we have already manipulated the find command. So I think we can get the wizard. No, we do not have. I think we do not need to provide this one. Weird. Sudo. Okay, sudo. Maybe we can pass. And then we can run this again. OPT up. As you can see, we have already become the root user. Then we can navigate to root directory, and we can retrieve the root flag. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Having a good day.